Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to consume our API response that we left in our previous video. So if you have watched my previous video, then you can simply remember this part we left here. We simply called our API and we got our response in our view model. Okay, so we are going to continue from here. Okay, so as you know, we have developed a custom binding for our layouts. Okay, so let me show you first. So I have developed we have developed three binding class, okay, for our three pages, for home pages, for onboarding pages, and the third one is our detail page. Okay, so we are going to use this onboarding page. We are now going to consume the response from the API, and we will set the data to this class, and this class inflate that data to our layout. Okay, so let's see how all this procedure work. Okay, so I have set up everything. I'm going to simply explain you step by step, because if I covered all these things, then this video also going to be a very long video, okay, which I don't want. Most of the people get bored, so I decided to change my strategy to making videos. Okay, so we are here. Okay, so I made simple check in my status field, which is coming in my response. In that status I got two response. The first one is 212. This means the response is okay, and I got the response successfully. If I got 211, means 211, then there is something error with this API, and I will log that error, and I can simply toast that error to the user. Okay, so as you can see here, I got these things in my status. I repeat, okay, a status field. So after that I need to do one more things before we proceed further. I made a global progress bar. Okay, and this progress bar will going to be same for every activities and every class. Okay, and I simply do these things for means this will simply optimize. I don't need to make a progress bar for every activity or every class. I simply make a generic progress bar, and when I need to pass any means dynamic data to that, then I simply make a parameter and make and I set that parameter to the progress bar text view. Okay, so I will show you how I made that. Okay, so if I go to my util package, then you can see here I made a class progress dialog, and this is the constructor of that class. Okay, you can simply remove this, and in that constructor I will get the context. Okay, and after that I initialize, means as we do for our activity or fragment, I simply initialize my layout here, and I simply made a dialog builder over there in that class. Okay, and with that dialog builder I am going to when I made two functions for showing dialog and for dismiss dialog. Okay, so if I have to show the dialog, then I call this function, and this function will be going to be bind that layout with my dialog. Okay, so as you can see here, I simply initialize my layout here inside that function, and I simply set that binding with my dialog. Okay, so this code will be responsible for that, and in that the main reason to make these things means custom is we can add or remove any widgets manually. Okay, we don't need to be dependent on the progress bar widgets or buttons, or because the main thing is it's look ugly. Okay, so if we want to customize our progress bar, then we can simply go with that. Okay, so after that, as you can see here, I have simply set that view with dialog.setView. This method comes with the dialog. Okay, so you don't have to worry about, simply call that method setView, and you just have to pass the root view. Okay, this will accept root parameter, and after that I can simply access the views from my progress bar dialog simply with the reference of that view. Okay, so as you can see here, I simply call the binding dot, and I can simply means I'm eligible to get the text view from that layout. Okay, and I have simply set the text loading, and if you wish, you can simply pass the dynamic. And if you want to customize these things, means if you want to pass the message for according to your pages, then you can also do that. Okay, like if I am getting onboarding page so I can pass parameter here, and wherever I call this function, then I need to pass the main message from there, and that message comes here, and that parameter will be going to be set here. Okay, so for now I'm not going to do this long procedure. Okay, so I have simply passed the loading data here, and there is a function, there is a method called show that will also come with the dialog that we have created here. Okay, so you don't have to worry about. And now I'm going to make a function for the dismiss dialog. So as you can see here, I have simply made a function for that, and with that I can simply get the reference of the dialog and simply call that dismiss function. This is also come from this material alert dialog builder. Okay, so you don't have to worry about too. Okay, now let's come to the main part. As you can see here, we have 3 state, and this state, as you know, these all are coming from our API state. Okay, so if you have not watched that video, then you have to watch that video, because in that video I have explained everything. Okay, so from that state we will get the error state, loading state, and success state. Okay, so to call that I need to show and hide the progress bar. Okay, so for that I have created I have initialized that progress bar class here, and then I have make an instance of that class over here, and simply initialize that class here. Okay, and I need to pass the view, because as you can see here, I have simply created a constructor inside the class, so I have to pass that context. So that's why I accept view from this class. I made a parameter for that, and wherever I call this function, then from there I have to pass the view. Okay, so I will show you where I got the view, from where I got the view. Okay, so with this view I got simply the context. Okay, so as you can see here, I simply initialize and pass the context of that view, and after that now I am eligible to perform my show dialog or dismiss dialog operations. Okay, so as you can see here, if I got any error, then I simply dismiss the dialog. If API is called and if I loading some data, then I have to simply show the loading dialog. Okay, and if after getting successful response, then I also need to dismiss the dialog. Okay, so as you can see here, it is very easy for now, and I don't have to initialize, means I don't have to create a dialog for every function or means everything. Okay, I can simply create the instance of that progress bar and simply call the functions from that class. Okay. Okay, so let's come to the third part. Okay, so now we have to set the data. So I have created the instance of that onboarding class in my view model, and with that instance I can simply set the data. So as you know, we are getting successful response, okay, over here, and I got my all data inside that data parameter. Okay, so as you can see here, my whole data coming in an array. So I made a for each loop for that array to get the data according to the position, and inside that data there is another data class. So I need another for loop. You can use for loop, do means while loop, or do while loop, according to your preference, but I have simply used here for each loop. Okay, so as you can see here, I made another for each loop, and in that for each loop I made a parameter, you can say data parser, you can say. Okay, so I made it, and with this I can simply bind the data, means with this data's parameter I can simply access the data from my model. Okay, so I need to bind that data with my onboarding binding class. Okay, so for that, as you can see here, I have already created the instance of that class. So I just call the parameter from this class here and set the data's data to that parameter. Okay, so I have done accordingly. As you can see here, I have called my parameters binding dot slogans title, which is this title. Okay, slogans title. So, and I have passed the data, okay, from here, and I need to get the image also to for my this image parameter. Okay, so I have done this. As you can see here, I have passed the manual position, okay, for that array, but I have simply stored one image, means the index one image, so that's why I passed here. But if you wish, you can also get means you can if you wish to make your image slider, then you can also go with for each loop, and you need to make a slider for that, and then you have to pass the data over there. Okay, so I just need one image, that's why I manually pass the position of that image, and I will get the image here. Okay, and after that I need to bind my slogans description, so that's why I bind that slogans description with the datas. Means I got the slogan description, and I bind that description with my binding description. Okay, and this with this parameter I want to say. Okay, after that, as you know, we are already observing the data from this class, okay, to our this layout. Okay, our onboarding layout, as you can see here. Okay, so as you can see here, I have already observed, means we are consuming that response and bind that data directly into our onboarding. Okay, so you don't have to worry about, you already know we have created a binding function for our image view, which is a generic function, or you can say which is an extension function also. Okay, with that function we don't have to write too much code for binding images. we made a glide with glide library. We made a image view extension function, and after that we will eligible to bind that data. Okay, so if you have not watched that video, then I have already covered all these things in brief in my previous videos, so please watch that video. Okay, and I have to bind the titles over here, because if you consider this UI, then as you can see here are your titles. Okay, and here is the description for that, and there is a getting started button. Okay, don't worry about these colors, we will fix these things later. Okay, so as you can see here, I have bind the slogans here and slogans description here. Okay, and I simply made a function with this getting started button. Okay, which present in our view model. Okay, here you can see. Okay, so I need a view for that, because on the clicking of that button I need to go to my home page. Okay, that's why I need view, and with this view I can get the find nav controller. Okay, so this is important, that's why I accept the view. And if we made or if we try to bind any function with the button click, okay, or if we try to bind any function with any widgets, then we need simply view. So we don't have to pass view manually. If you call that function or inside any, if you bind that function with any widgets, then this widget will directly pass the view to that function. Okay, so you don't have to worry about passing view. Okay, so I simply got the view, and after that with that view I got the find nav controller, and with that I got the navigate method here, and this navigate method simply accept the ID. Okay, so I pass the ID from where I am, okay, my current state, to where I want to go. Okay, so I simply pass that. Okay, so after that we need to initialize all these things with our class 2, okay, which is our main class. So let me show you that things also. Here is pages. Okay, because here you can see we have created the instance, this binding instance. Okay, so we have to attach that binding instance with our activity or fragment. If you use activity, then this procedure is also work for that. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, so as you can see here I have created a parameter. Okay, the first parameter is our binding class parameter, onboarding binding class parameter, and the second one is our view model. Okay, so we need to bind, or in simple word you can say we need to simply initialize with our main class. Okay, so as you can see here I have already done that. Okay, so I got the means I create the instance of that layout in the main class of that layout. Okay, and with that I simply got the binding, this binding here, and I need to simply create an instance of that onboarding binding class here, and simply pass that onboarding binding. So with that we are now simply eligible to bind the data with it. And now here is another benefit. If you want to change any values inside directly from your onboarding class, then you can do it also. Okay, so I simply initialize the binding, and I need to simply bind initialize my this view model with this view model, actual view model. So I have also done that. Okay, and I need to call that binding function, and this binding function come from onboarding. Okay, so I will show you. This is important guys, because it will start crashing. Okay, so this is the onboarding binding, but we have to provide these two inside our main fragment class. Okay, that's why I have created this. Okay, and now we are ready to go. But here is another thing. If you create any extension function, okay, and directly bind to your activity, then you will got a null reference error, because somehow I don't know why I got that error, because when I was trying to set the data with that extension function to my view, then I got that error. So I simply figure out and got this solution. Okay, so you can simply initialize that things inside your onboarding fragment, or whatever if you use activity, you can initialize it, so you will not got that error. Okay, and now we have to simply call that error. So simply call that get onboarding, which we have called inside in our previous videos. Okay, so I simply passed that because I told you that we need a view to initialize our progress dialog box. Okay, and with this, if we get the view instance, then we can do anything inside that function. Okay, so many people simply directly pass the context with this activity or this view model. Okay, so I think that was bad practice, because it will create memory leak issue. Okay, so I think we are done with that. We have covered everything. Okay, so I want to show these things. Okay, so this is our extension function, this is our image view function, and this is our text view function. Okay, so I will explain you the both function. Okay, so if you bind any function, means if you create any extension function and you need to bind any data with that extension function, then you need to create this binding adapter. And with that, when you create this binding adapter, then this will accept an string. Okay, with that string you will be eligible to call that whole function inside your XML file. Okay, this is binding. This binding adapter come from our data binding. Okay, so this is a very strong mechanism. Okay, so after that, as you can see here, I have made it app colon bind. Okay, so this will be going to include with our and app dot means as we called any parameters inside our XML. So if as you can see here, I have called app colon layout. Okay, so this will be going to be work like that. Okay, let me show you. This will be going to be work like that. Okay, and as I told you, I simply made a glide function, means I simply glide that data. I simply accept a URL, means image URL inside that function, and glide that URL with our image view. Okay, so with this we can simply get the means simply cast the image view instance over there. Okay, so everything working exactly like same, but little bit things going to be changed. Okay, I think you guys will understand about this code. This will not making complexity, means this will not create any complex mechanism inside your mind. Okay, and the next thing is to designing our this text. Okay, our title. So I have used span builder. If you don't know about that, then please read it about. Okay, and I have created a generic class for that, because when I try to bind all these things with that, then it will create coupling, and I was not able to bind or means design like that. because I want to use, means I don't want to use 2 or 4 text view, because with that span builder we can simply design our text view, okay, in a single text view. That's why I use this, because most of the people don't know about that. So please read about that, or if you guys want to learn this span builder, then this will be going to be a separate topic, because this is a very long topic. Okay, so I will show you a util class for that, simple span builder. Okay, so here I've created some basic parameter. I am not going to making you understand, but here is the main part. Okay, I have chosen some, I have made some conditional statement over there. Okay, and with that I have created a companion object. Okay, and companion I have created some categories inside that companion object. Okay, so for that you can say formatting style dark bold. If I choose 2, then it will be going to formatting style dark bold small, and this will be going for light, and this will be going to light small. Okay, so if I pass any of that parameter inside, and this will be going to be accepted here. Okay, so if I pass any format style, then my text style will be going to be set like that. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. I will make you understand little bit more. Okay, so if we use that thing, then if we want to change any color, then we use foreground color for that, and simply we need to pass the color over there, and we need to simply set the span, okay, with our text view. Okay, and we also need to pass the starting position, means from where to start, and from where we want to end. Okay, means suppose text start with 0 index, and from which index we want to change the text color. Okay, so these things work for that. Okay, so all rest of the things going to be same for that if you read it carefully. Okay, so don't worry about it. If you facing any issue, or if you facing any difficulties with that, then you can simply comment down below, or you can connect me with my Instagram profile, and we will figure it out. Okay, so don't worry about it. And finally I have simply make some changes, means I simply adjust this layout, and yeah, all I think we have covered everything. Okay, so this is only for our onboarding page. Okay, and in our next video we will be going to cover our home page, because every page will be going to be take a long time. Okay, so we can't cover everything inside one video. Okay, that's why I decide to cover all these things in a separate video for a separate topic. Okay, so now let's run this application inside our Android Studio. So as you can see here, when we loading our data, then we got this dialog. Okay, and after getting successful response, we will get that data, and I think this will take some time to load, because I have simply I added a placeholder with our hot drawable. That's why I am getting this. Okay, and let me, I think I have closed my server. Okay, so let me start too. Okay, that's why I got that. And I want to make you understand one more thing, guys. I think I forgot that. As you can see here, I have simply said modern furniture and for your and for dream. Okay, which is this text. Okay, so if you want to pass, means if you know all these things, then you can set it statically. But In my case I know, but I also made a parameter for that function, and you have to perform some split operation, and you just have to divide your text. Okay, means which portion you want to colored, or which portion you want to which color. Okay, so you have to decide like that. As you can see here, I have simply make an instance of my string builder class, and then I made a function over there, that is append function, and inside that function this will be going to accept our text and the font formatting style. Okay, so I have passed it here, and simply I can simply bind that bind the instance of that class with my text. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this text view. And now let's start our server. npm. Okay, we have successfully run our server, and now let's check our application. Okay, so if I go back, as you can see here, I got my chair, means furniture, and as you can see here, I got my description. Let me show you in my database, and don't worry about these things. Okay, we will design exactly like that. Okay, we will work on the color and the designing part later, but for now I want to make you understand this is a technical term, and if I mixed all these things, then most of the things are going to be bounce. Okay, so as you can see here, I made a collection in inside my database, and inside database I have a data array, and inside that data array there is image, slogan, description. Okay, so I got this description, exactly this description here. Okay, so yeah, and now one more thing, I made a click listener for that. So as you can see here, I came here on my home page, and I simply hide my bottom navigation drawer. Okay, for now, because we will going to cover that thing later. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this video. Okay, and I hope you guys enjoy this video, because this is a very important video, because these things work exactly like in your production application. Okay, and this will you will not get this type of video means anywhere on YouTube also. So please subscribe my channel and support me to make more videos like that.